But let me just look at this region by region. So many people believe that what Mr. Draghi did with the European Community Bank was a measure that brought some stability. Do you believe that?
Well, Draghi is a very able man, no doubt about that, and he's taking very firm decisions. But right now it's important to see what's going to happen to Greece, because it's very easy to have Greece go out of that union. But the question is, if Greece goes out, you're setting a precedent whereby the integrity of this whole union may be put into question. And it's a matter of pride also for Merkel and Sarkozy and the other European nations to keep Greece there at any cost.
And
which is very dangerous.
It's very dangerous to keep Greece there at every cost.
It's because it's going to be very costly. Because now even in Greece they have not even approved the
austerity that they have to engage. So are you pessimistic that Europe will be able to deal with its problems and therefore will threaten the global economy?
Well, there's no doubt that Europe is a time bomb, because you see the economies of all those countries is not doing good at all. The annual budget deficit is high, the cumulative debt is very high, is above 100% in certain countries. And Greece is the real role model right now. And we're trying to witness what may happen there.
Okay. In the United States, there's some hope about the economic recovery. The job numbers are coming down to 8.3%.
This shows the resilience of the United States. With all the bickering that's happening between Obama and the Republican in the House, still the U.S. was able to grow, 2.8% and have unemployment go down to 8.3%, and the confidence factors up, the home sales up. So there's major improvement right now in the U.S. economy. Small indications, but they're in the right direction.
There is a feeling that this American decline has been overblown. Robert Kagan has written a book to that point. The president obviously has said that he has taken notice of it. Do you believe the American decline is overblown?
I definitely believe that the so-called American decline is really exaggerated. I think the United States is facing difficulties, but the United States is way ahead of everybody else. Look at where the innovation is. Look at what's the reserve currency of the whole world. It's still the United States. Look what happened when the United States debt was downgraded. Interest rate went down, not up.
Right.
So that's the confidence. The United States can do. I mean, if the political bickering stops between both parties and go unified. I quote also what happened between Reagan and Tip O'Neill, Republican Democrat, what happened between Clinton and Gingrich, right? I mean, how were they able to consolidate and work together? I think there's no way but for the Republican Democrats to work together, even in the election year.
How do you see China?
Look, in China, everything is controlled and managed by the government, as you know. And
so they can create a stimulus overnight.
Oh, sure. I mean, look at China. You have the economical system is very much capitalistic, yet the political system is very communistic and centralized. So these two cannot go forever, obviously. And clearly, China has to grow by 7-8% at least, so no social upheavals take place or social unrest. So China has no choice but to grow at that rate, because if you look at the East Coast, it's growing at good rates, and the GDP per capita is higher there. But the moment they go to West, the situation gets grave and bad, and the per capita there is maybe $100 or $50.
And that creates a social tension, and it might even create unemployment for those people who went to the coast to get jobs.
Exactly.
All right. Let me turn to you and your investments in America. Citicorp. How do you see Citicorp today and your relationship with Vikram Pandit?
Well, I just saw Vikram before he left to the Far East, and the situation is very promising. And he's very optimistic about 2012, 13, or 14. And the proof of that is that it was public, obviously, is that he announced that the Citibank will begin getting some capital back to its shareholders, either through a share buyback program or through dividends.
Dividends is what you have been encouraging him to do.
Well, I encourage him to do both, obviously. I think dividends is important, but also share buyback is important. So I think getting back some capital to the shareholders is very important, and I think he's on the right track. Last year he made $11 billion, and I think this year also will be better.
So has he been a good CEO?
I think he's been an excellent CEO. He's very low profile. He's been working internally, stabilize the situation, but right now he's looking for growth.
And he has your support?
Oh, yes.
And strong support for his leadership at Citicorp. And you are happy with your investment in Citicorp, and you see the stock going up?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's doing a spectacular job. And, the situation of Citigroup was very grave. And he was able to stabilize the situation. Now
would not have been able to do it without the government stepping in.
For sure. Like many other banks also.
Indeed. Another investment you have is in Apple. many people wonder about Apple after Steve Jobs' death. Do you?
Well, the legacy of Steve Jobs and the strength of Steve Jobs is that he established a company that's really moving on all cylinders and clicking very well. Clearly, I think for next 5-6 quarters, this will be still the legacy of Steve Jobs. I think maybe 2 years from now,
Indeed.
we will see what happens with the new management.
They're still benefiting from the decisions that he put in place.
Yes, for sure, for sure. All we're seeing right now is the legacy of Steve Jobs.
There is News Corp. They went through a crisis in London, hacking. Tell me how you reacted to that, and whether you think that's had a serious detrimental impact on News Corp.
You know, my relationship with the Murdoch family goes back for many years. And I just met James Murdoch today and meeting Rupert Murdoch tomorrow. So they are not only my allies, but friends also. I'm not only invested in News Corp, they are also invested in my biggest media company.
We'll talk about that, right.
So clearly, in an empire like that spans over 5 continents, that involved in so many areas in media, inevitably you may have a rotten apple somewhere. And that rotten apple was excised and taken out.
You sure?
Well, for sure. That's what Rupert Murdoch and James Murdoch told me, and they would like to put this behind them. And remember, when Rupert Murdoch appeared in front of the House of Commons in the United Kingdom, he said, "This is the most humble day in my life."
Has anything that happened in this hacking scandal diminished your support for James Murdoch?
I mean, how could this happen when an incident happened in a newspaper? How could this be affecting my relationship with James Murdoch? James was not involved in that process at all. So no, I mean, he took drastic decisions. He settled with the 36 families in the UK. He's in the process right now of settling with everybody else. So no, my support to James and Rupert is still there because they're not involved in it. And I went public by saying that the ladies and the people who were involved in that process should be fired completely.
You suggested to the family they should fire Rebecca Brooks?
Yes, and she was fired immediately after that.
So you were responsible for her being fired?
No, I don't say that. You know, I don't claim that at all, because Rupert and James will not accept to tolerate having her continue with them anyway. But really, ethics and morals are very important to me in any dealing. And I know James and Rupert were not involved in the process at all.
What do you think of Fox Broadcasting, the Fox News company run by Roger Ailes?
Well, I think it's doing great.
So you're happy with News Corp, you're happy with the Murdoch family, you're happy with Rupert, your good friend, and James Murdoch, and you still support James Murdoch in the way that you did the last time you were here.
That's why I have 7% of the voting, and I'm keeping it.
All right. There is Twitter now. You have a $300 million, $400 million investment in Twitter. How did that happen?
You have to understand that Kingdom Holding, which is my company, has invested a long time ago in Apple Computer and Amazon, eBay, and many other price
I do understand that, right.
So we are not new to that business, obviously. So really, investing in Twitter is a continuation of us looking at those business opportunities at early stage. I believe Twitter right now has just finished from being in a venture capital phase into being getting into a maturity level.
Right.
And we believe that we came at the right time, and we believe that the potential for Twitter is spectacular and great.
Why is that?
Because already right now they have more than 100 million users and more than 250 million tweets every day, and this could go dramatically higher. And the potential for Twitter is dramatic and high.
It is said that you made your investment after you saw Yuri Milner, the Russian, make his investment. Is that fair?
No, I don't even know his name. Who's this guy?
You do know who Yuri Milner
no,
is.
I never heard of him.
He was one of the early angel investors, or one of the early investors. In Twitter and in Facebook also. He's coming back with a huge amount of
when we invest in a company,
valuation.
We do our homework, we analyze the company, and we make projections, and we take action.
You don't know Yuri Milner?
No, I mean, I never heard of him, frankly speaking. But really? I know some Russian guy is invested in it. Sure, yes. But maybe that's him, yes.
And do you think Twitter can be able to monetize?
Today I met the CEO and the CFO, and I think they're on the right track, and I believe they can monetize, yes.
What else are you looking at in the technology area?
Well, I mean, we always look at many opportunities. Clearly, I cannot divulge and talk about which companies we're looking at, but we are a holding company that invests all over the globe, and we're looking at opportunities, and we see that Twitter had a very good potential and big hope.
But anybody else on the landscape we should take a look at, because you think that they also have, a huge potential? I mean, did you get in on Facebook or not?
I know. No.
Are you regret missing that?
No. I mean, good luck for them. We can't be really involved in all successful companies, but I think good luck with them. I think Facebook is a big force to be reckoned with, and I think their IPO will be very successful.
And I'll put a valuation, you think, on Facebook of what?
Well, I think the assumption right now between 75 to 100.
Right.
I think we have to see.
All right. There's also this. The princess, your wife, is an avid user of Twitter. She tweets all. And also Rupert Murdoch does it. Did you have any influence on Rupert in suggesting that he should look at Twitter and maybe he should make some tweets?
No, I think when I invested in Twitter, just 3-4 days later, he began tweeting, and the rumor says that I influenced him. I hope I influenced him, because that's good for Twitter to have such a man of high caliber like Rupert Murdoch using Twitter.
When we come back, we're going to take a break, and I want to talk to your wife. She'll join us and talk about how she sees the world and women's empowerment, and especially in the region, and her relationships. Tell me introduce her for this audience.
Well, Princess Amira is a commoner. She's from a Saudi tribe, very big tribe called Utayba. And I got introduced to her, and then we got married. And she is a very high-profile lady. She's very aggressive, and she believes in women empowerment and women's rights. And she is the vice chairwoman of my foundation that's involved in charity and philanthropical projects nationally, regionally, and internationally.